Hello and welcome to National Focus for Friday, May 17, 2024. I am Julian Morris. In the headlines, government officially commissions the Dominica China Agricultural Science Complex building, new village council inaugurated in Giraudel, Eggleston, and Rotary Club and Vosh International host the 29th ICAM mission in Dominica. The details of the headline stories and more when we return. Welcome back. The government of Dominica, through the Ministry of Agriculture, has officially commissioned the Dominica China Agricultural Science Complex building. The over $11 million building was commissioned at a ceremony held on Friday, May 17, at the North Agricultural Station in 1 Mile, Portsmouth. Parliamentary representative for the Portsmouth constituency, Honourable Fenella Wenham Shepherd, encouraged citizens to use the complex as a place of learning.
This is a modern agricultural center. There's a science behind what is done in this center, which means that much learning has to take place here. A tissue culture lab affords this. Learn from those who have handed you the center, and in this case, this lab, learn from those you will work with in keeping the center and the lab thriving as one of science with its attendant methodologies. Finally, keep in mind that your final produce and products are nourishing, that Dominica is emerging as a country with the better agricultural produce, that your cooperation can make this center and laboratory one of the best places for learning and training others in agriculture.
Chinese ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Chu Maoming, says China remains committed to helping Dominica in the development and modernization of its agriculture sector.
The exchange of notes signed between China and Dominica in 2019 laid the groundwork for this transformative endeavor, showcasing China's steadfast commitment to bolstering Dominica's agricultural sector through robust infrastructure development. This modern facility will serve as a hub for innovation, education, research, and knowledge exchange in the field of agriculture, propelling Dominica towards its aspiration of becoming the global center for agricultural resilience.
Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy, Honourable Roland Rouet, says with the ministry's goal of contributing $700 million to the annual GDP by 2030, investments like these are critical.
Given that the Ministry of Agriculture is initiating actions to increase the contribution of Dominica's agricultural sector to GDP to $700 million by 2030, the need to invest in science and advanced technology is imperative. This complex has a total floor space of 4,700 square feet and encompasses 3 main areas, namely the tissue culture lab, training and office spaces, and living quarters to house the Chinese agricultural mission. This lab will introduce cutting-edge tissue culture technology to develop disease-free planting material with the capacity to produce 500,000 seedlings annually.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Honourable Roosevelt Skerrit says this building will aid in reducing the food import bill while also increasing the country's agricultural output.
We're making these strategic investments because we recognize that increases in agricultural output will mean the creation of more sustainable agri-based jobs, higher incomes, and enhanced capacity to satisfy the growing food and nutrition demands of our local, regional, and global populations. We are also intensifying efforts to entice young farmers to the sector to secure the future prosperity of our nation. This new and modern facility takes us nearer to meeting these objectives, as well as the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals of increased access to innovative technologies and viable agri-food systems.
A new 8-member village council has been inaugurated in Giraudel, Eggleston. The council comprised Chairman Mervyn Alexander, Tyra Thomas, Deputy Chairperson, Mary Benjamin, Aiton Dorival, and Roy Ashworth Williams. Nominated members are Desiree Lewis, Tessa Thomas, and Jacinta Maroney. Members were sworn in at the council's 19th inaugural meeting on Wednesday. The new chairman made a special appeal for proper garbage disposal within the community.
Garbage and derelict vehicles are safe havens for rats. And where there are rats, there are diseases. It is ourselves we are putting in danger, nobody else. Let us revisit that caring attitude we once experienced in this community. I am also looking forward to engage the parliamentary representative and the Minister of Sports in some conversation on how we can improve the sporting facilities in these communities. We have two, one in Julian, one in Eggleston. And we cannot say they are the best. They need improvement.
Parliamentary Representative Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte said community participation was critical if the council is to succeed. She said it was expected that residents would continue the great tradition of volunteerism by supporting the council's projects geared at improving the wider community.
My wonderful people, the rules and regulations of council are indispensable in allowing council to realize its core obligations to ensure the well-being and overall safety of the community. The council has a moral and legal duty to care. We, the people, must cooperate with the council, pay our dues, abide by the laws, partake in waste management, anti-littering campaigns, beautification, socio-economic enhancement, and infrastructural programs.
Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit spoke to the issue of proper garbage disposal raised by Chairman of the Council, Mr. Mervyn Alexander. The Prime Minister recommended that garbage only be brought out when the truck is present. He emphasized the importance of a clean community to tourism development.
We have our environment, and we have to keep our environment pristine and beautiful and clean for our own enjoyment and for our safety and healthcare, but also for the enjoyment of those who come, because that's what they're coming to see. The average tourist is coming to enjoy our hiking, our trails, our vegetation, our marine environment. And if we pollute these things, then what do we have? We have nothing to offer. And if you have nothing to offer that distinguishes yourself from the rest, then people won't come. And then we'll complain because things hard. But we have to be careful by our own actions that we're not placing ourselves on the wrong path.
Councillors were reminded that the first order of business is to conduct a community needs assessment to prioritize projects.
May I advise that with the hurricane season just 2 weeks away, focusing on your disaster plans, shelters and shelter managers are paramount. This task you should not take lightly. Keep your residents informed on hurricane safety tips, identify those in vulnerable areas, and begin to prepare them for evacuation if needs be. Ensure drains are cleared and free from debris and white goods, potential hazards during a disaster.
The Rotary Club of Dominica and Voluntary Optometric Services to Humanity, Vosh International, has completed their 29th mission to Dominica, delivering quality vision services and eyewear to those in need. President of Dominica, Her Excellency Silvani Burton, partnered on this annual mission. She expressed gratitude for the selfless service provided by the volunteer organization.
I am very happy that the Vosh mission is here to assist Dominicans who need worn eyeglasses, who need to check their eyesight and other medical conditions that relate to their eye. And I want to thank them very much for coming annually to Dominica to assist in the well-being of our people. We want to thank them. They come with all the glasses, they come with all the personnel, and they provide everything that is required for the visit and for the mission. And so I want to really say on behalf of the government of Dominica that we thank them very much for coming. We look forward to them coming other years. And we also want to thank the Rotary Club of Dominica.
Doctor of Ophthalmology, Professor and Vosh team leader Daniel Rubel reported on changes in the eye care needs of Dominicans over the years.
Because of gadgets, because of computers, and because of cell phones, there's a shift in stress astigmatism and a shift of more nearsighted patients. So then we can, why I do it is we can bring glasses that are more appropriate for who we're going to see. So that's changed. As far as the health, we still get a lot of cataracts because you're so close to the equator, a lot of growth over the eye, the fleshy growth called pterygiums. We still have a lot of diabetics because of the fruit, a lot of sugar.
He says there has been tremendous growth in the eye care treatment since his first mission in 1995.
There was no ophthalmology here when we first came down. And then Ricketts came and got involved in it, and it was involved in our team and really made huge changes in taking care of infections and diabetic retinopathy and cataracts. Then she helped coordinate with Canada and the government this amazing eye center, $10-12 million eye center, and Dr. Lawrence is now the new coordinator of that. So now the potential for helping more people with treatment of diabetic retinopathy or cataracts or pterygiums, it's going to be much easier. In fact, we're going to have a team from the Medical Ministry of International from Canada, and we're going to bring a team from Michigan to do cataract surgery next March. On the people we're referring this time, we're going to do cataracts and take care of their cataracts.
Vosh, established in 1970, has grown to more than 80 chapters over the world, serving over 1 million patients worldwide. Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit has again addressed the need for Dominicans to pay close attention to the issue of non-communicable diseases. The Prime Minister, who has consistently raised the issue at the various forums here and abroad, says COVID-19 was not Dominica's biggest health issue.
A lot of us got scared when COVID came around. And I always kept telling the Cabinet and the Ministry of Health, and I believe so I have addressed the nation on this, that COVID was not our biggest threat, our health threat. Chronic non-communicable diseases is our major threat in Dominica. The reality is, we have an opportunity to reduce the prevalence of CNCDs in Dominica by eating what we grow and walking more, exercising. And we don't need no gym. People always say, where's the gym? Where's the treadmill? No, we have our treadmill. The hills and valleys are our treadmills.
The Prime Minister says there is a financial burden on the state to provide care for people with NCDs.
The management of CNCDs in Dominica is costing us about 45% of the health budget, just to treat people. Not to prevent people from getting sick, to treat who have already contracted those ailments. And so we have to try to minimize on this, because if a 40-year-old man, and we've seen those instances and with younger people, has diabetes and he is not caring for it, he runs the risk of having amputations. And once one toe gone, then they're gonna cut your leg and they're gonna cut above your knee.
He says the impact on a family when the main breadwinner is affected by NCDs can be catastrophic.
It's not difficult for us to understand what's going to happen to the family. And so two things we have to do in Dominica. We have to reduce on the prevalence of CNCDs. And in cases where we do have it, and there's no ill feeling towards having this, because, for your best efforts you can contract it. diabetes and hypertension, we have to ensure that we're managing it properly, that we're taking the medication, that we're eating the right foods, that we put in the adequate exercise to manage it.
The issue of non-communicable diseases remains a global issue, and the Prime Minister vows to speak on it wherever possible.
Every moment I get, every opportunity I get in Dominica to speak, and even in the region, because it's not a Dominica alone situation, it's a global crisis. Every opportunity I get to speak to anyone, I take the opportunity to speak about CNCs. For me, it is an existential threat. This is one of the major threats to our economic sustainability and survival, because we run the risk, because of these diseases, you have more sick leave. More sick leave means lower productivity. Lower productivity means less revenue coming in.
With reduced revenue, government is able to do much less, and there are more deaths, which reduces the population. He says in Dominica's case, what's needed is a growing population in order to increase consumption.
That's why we need more people in Dominica. That's why we have to encourage tourism. Because the rate of births will not give you, in any time soon, the number of people that you need in Dominica to consume the food that we're producing. And therefore, this is why we have to encourage tourism heavily, because that's where you're going to get the extra tens of thousands of people to come in to consume. And more consumption means more revenue. More revenue means the better the government is able to address the issues confronting our citizens.
You are watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. May 18, 2024 signifies 28 years since the establishment of diplomatic relations between Dominica and the Republic of Cuba. Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba, His Excellency Miguel Manuel Frega Gonzalez, reflected on this milestone for the two countries in a special interview with GIS. He says the solidarity and cooperation between the two countries dates back to 1979.
The history goes back to 1979. You proclaimed your independence in 1978, and a year after, the first Dominican students came to Cuba for scholarships. We start these beautiful relations. Over the year, we have been working together in areas like healthcare, in education, construction, and many other aspects. And I really believe it's a beautiful history between our two countries. And for that reason, every place I visit, I found people who knows about Cuba, who love Cuba. And for me, it's a wonderful opportunity to be here in Dominica.
A number of sectors have seen significant growth, particularly health and education, as a result of the bilateral relations between both countries.
We have more than 400 graduated from Dominica in Cuba, and we are proud of that, you know. And again, this is not charity, you know. We really believe that solidarity and cooperation is what we have to do. And you know, Jose Marti, our national hero, say that humanity is mankind, you know. So we believe in that. For that reason, I say we are not only partners, you know, partners for business. I like to believe that we are family. And in the case of education, we still offer scholarships in Cuba. We are now in the process. We received documents yesterday from Foreign Affairs with some people here that is applying for those scholarships, and that door is going to be open. We only need to know what else we can do.
The Republic of Cuba remains thankful for the political support displayed by Dominica throughout the years.
Many countries come to Cuba and say, okay, the blockade, the sanctions, the U.S. sanctions against Cuba are not fair. The people is suffering, and we support Cuba. But not every country have the courage to say that loud, you know, to say that in the international arena. And we appreciate the solidarity, the courage of Dominica every year in the United Nations. even well, your president has been there, your prime minister. In every international forum, they say they want to see the end of the U.S. sanctions against Cuba. And when we talk, you know, when we have the opportunity to talk and say thanks, they say, no, this is not only courage, this is because it's what is fair.
Dominica and the Republic of Cuba are poised to see positive growth due to the strengthened bilateral relations in the future. More on this special feature will be brought to you on GIS social media pages and channel to commemorate 28 years of diplomatic relations. Parliamentary Representative for Roseau South, Honorable Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte, has announced that there is some progress as it regards sports facilities in Giraudel and Eggleston. The parliamentary representative says the completion of Giraudel and Eggleston playing fields are on the way to realization.
The completion of the pavilion and the lighting of the grounds must be done, and discussions are at an advanced stage in that regard. I must commend you on your great patience and understanding. Why is this so important to me and you, the people? I am of the fervent view that youth participation in sports at every level is crucial for promoting health, social development, community closeness, skills enhancement, the identification and harnessing of talent, career development, economic independence, patriotism, crime prevention, character building, and cultural preservation amongst the youth.
Honorable Lockhart-Hippolyte says sports contributes to a healthier, better integrated and vibrant community. She says the professionalization and advancement of the popular Giraudel Eggleston Flower Show and Market Fair is another important priority.
Its renaissance was greeted with great enthusiasm and was very successful. However, there is always room for improvement. This event captures the rich cultural heritage of our most beautiful community, the remarkable flower baskets of the region. We therefore seek to stick to the very core menu, that is flower show and heritage aspects. We must also pay regard to other areas, such as the inclusion of dance, music, cuisine, arts, crafts, pageantry, folklore, architectural landscapes, indigenous traditions, etc. This will play a major role in attracting tourists to our community.
The ongoing phased housing revolution in Roseau South and Eggleston is another major priority for that area.
It represents just a tip of the transformation that is to come. Land reform remains to be central to my agricultural, housing, economic development, and tourism plan of action. My constituency shall explode economically as soon as we put into production the many unused or abandoned lands and properties and work on accessibility of these properties and embark on owner identification and collaboration.
Housing development continues to lay the groundwork for transformation in Roseau South.
The ongoing works on the housing units at Kybel is a transformative intervention that has positively impacted on that community. With a successful land reform strategy, many other areas in Roseau South can become major housing development zones. The Dominica Labour Party government, by prioritizing housing, has thus equated housing as a fundamental human right. Let it be said that your government and people-centered continued investment in housing initiatives has contributed to inclusive and sustainable development that benefits the well-being and prosperity of the broad masses of our constituents.
The Health Promotion Unit is again encouraging Dominicans to pride themselves in taking responsibility for their health. Alina Henry is Health Promotion Officer in the Health Promotion Unit. She has been interacting with the public this week, disseminating information on chronic non-communicable diseases.
So we have prostate cancer, we have breast cancer, we have cervical cancer where we have diagrams available to actually show individuals the progression from which from an individual has no cancer to the progression of them having late-stage invasive cancer of the cervix. We also have information in regards to, say, for breast cancer, where we can provide you with diagrams to demonstrate how you can palpate the breast to actually look for any tumors that may have grown. So we can show you how to properly do your self-breast examination for our women out there.
On the issue of nutrition, the public is being asked to pay attention to serving sizes.
A lot of us, we like to eat, big meals, and we don't feel comfortable unless our plate is full, is overflowing with food. Well, us at the Health Promotion Unit, alongside the nutritionists, we try to encourage individuals to eat the best portion sizes or the healthiest portion sizes, and we have diagrams to show of the different portion sizes we can have, from eating different fruits, vegetables, different forms of protein, and these information are very, very crucial in empowering individuals to actually make the most out of their meals for the betterment of their health.
Coming up next, the Creole News Highlights with Jenna Jacob.
Bienvenue à ce nouvel en créole, nom moi c'est Julian Jacob. Voluntary Optometric Service to Humanity Vosh, une organisation volontaire l'Amérique qui a traité des gens qui la terre en Dominique. Autant moun ou pays Dominique te en Giraudel Paris hier pour traiter des gens. Président Dominique Excellency Sylvanie Burton visité Paris Hall et dit Vosh qu'a fait un bon travail.
Vosh qu'a fait un bon travail en Dominique. Tous les années, pour 2-3 années, yo qu'a venir à Dominique pour aider Dominicains, pour garder contre nous, pour buy glasses, et generally pour aider nous, pour voir qui health nous ni problème nous ni en zéno. Et moi le dis merci pour Vosh, et moi le dis merci aussi pour Rotary Club. Puis Rotary Club c'est yo qu'a travailler ensemble, et you can fait un bon travail. Comme ça, on behalf of two Dominicans, je dis merci pour Vosh et pour Rotary Club.
Président Dominique a demandé aux Dominicains pour garder compte zéro.
Je dis Dominicains, c'est pour nous check zéro. Et venir et habiter nous à manger, pour aider nous, pour voir, pour changer nous bien. Comme ça, nous ne pouvons manger plus de choses qui local, pour ensure que nous, pour assurer que nous pouvons bon care. Pas en Asie nous tout seul, mais quoi nous. Et moi le dis les missions qu'on va venir pour prendre avantage. Et venir check zéro, ou pas jamais savent. Check pas ou ka dit moi que aller check docteur, moi que aller check docteur. Et les ou ka dit ou pas ni l'argent. Mais Vosh ka venir, Vosh ka ba bon yo ka garder zéro, yo ka garder en 10 ans zéro pour si on est cataracte, et glaucoma, et si ou besoin glasses, yo ka ba glasses. Eh bien, il y a d'autres avis. Pour ça, je vais demander tout Dominicain pour make sure you check zéro, puis zéro c'est un bagage qui est very important pour nous dans la vie.
Le président dit l'autre fois Vosh Dominique, il y avait Marie qui a assisté.
Moi déjà parlé avec Dr. Dan, eh bien, avant mission salaire, plus bon élan salaire, nous parler avec il m'a demandé, moi dit oui. Nous avons assisté, là, ils sont venus en Kalinago, et bien là, ils sont allés en East l'année prochaine, si on fait la gosse. Moi, avec Marie, nous avons assisté comme Mme Vosh aussi.
Le Premier ministre Dominique Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt concernait contre problème non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases, c'est maladie contre tension et puis diabète. Le Premier ministre a bien concerné contre ça. Le COVID-19 partait plus gros problème santé Dominique. Nous sommes pour garder ça nous qu'à manger. Manger local, manger plus légumes et puis fruits, boire autant d'eau. Le Premier ministre Skerritt bien concerné contre NCD et puis il est toujours qu'à parler contre ça. Il dit trop de monde qui mort de maladie contre diabète et puis tension. Dominique et puis Cuba a célébré 28 années de relations diplomatiques. Ambassadeur République Cuba, His Excellency Miguel Manuel Fraga González, parlait et puis GIS. Il dit relations sont là depuis 1969. Cuba a wendé Dominique en développement santé et puis éducation. Autant jeunes monde Dominique étudié comme docteur et puis ingénieur en Cuba. République Cuba content pour support politique gouvernement Dominique Bayo. Dominique et puis Cuba a continué à bâtir relations pour développer qui positive. GIS qui mène plus d'informations à sous page social media. Parle pour Ozo Sud, Honorable Shakira Lokat Hippolyte, parle contre progrès facilité sport en Giraudel et puis Eggleston. Il dit ces facilités pour finir. Il dit sport est important pour santé, ça c'est monde et puis relations, communauté. Il dit développement, exhibition, flair et puis market fair, Eggleston et puis Giraudel important. Des activités ça là qui amènent un développement. Housing Revolution en Ozo Sud qui a transformé la constituency. Ça c'est tout à ce nouvelle en créole. Non, monsieur General Jacob, ni un bon week-end. Au revoir.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching.